And we're back. Too bad we couldn't teach Zhao to use crazy ghost powers now that he's been stabbed by the meteorite too. Ah, you're awake. Hanging in there. Hey mister, is your knee okay? Huh? Oh, it'll be fine. It's just a scrape. I'm lucky it wasn't a fatal hit, but the main thing is that you're not hurt. You have no idea how lucky you were, Zhao. You saved me? I was just doing my job. The gods, they're the ones that saved you. What's your job, mister? Oh, okay. Remember the scene. Doesn't really change very much. Do you think you could go call the police for me? I think you could do it quicker than I could. What's that? This is a detective's badge. We give them to children who have been very brave. A detective's badge. This is actually the badge Lynn's been wearing the entire game. It turns out, she doesn't have her own yet. Okay, you know what to do, little detective. Off she goes. Thankfully we don't have to watch Zhao limp away. Poor Yomiel. Are you alive? Yeah, sadly. Seriously? This guy sucks at dying. Hang on, help is coming. What made you do such a reckless thing? To be perfectly honest, I don't really know. When I came to, my body was already moving by itself. It was as if somebody else was controlling me. I think the correct word is manipulating. But you know, I'm glad it happened. Is he bleeding out or something? Oh right, nobody bleeds in this game, it's fine. And apparently the police station was right next door. And it's the cat! Hey, mister. I found this kitten, it was over there. Come to think of it, I just saw it a few minutes ago. It's probably a stray. It's kind of limp, is it okay? I don't know, I think it's unconscious. That's funny, it doesn't look like it's injured or anything. Poor little kitty. I like that they modify the sprite of Lynn to also have the cat in her arms for once. How about if I take it to my house and look after it? Would you like to come home with me, little kitten? I think we established it was unconscious. It's not actually going to answer him. Well, it looks like his fate just changed in a big way. Whose fate? That kitten's, of course. Sissel's. What? The name echoes in my head. That's my real name. These long, lonely 10 years. You're my one and only friend. He's talking to us again? How about it? Do you remember now? It's the cat from the junkyard. Does he? Well, apparently he does. I think I finally remember. 10 years ago, I was a little kitten that wandered into this park. I was weak and all alone in the world. Turns out this was not as irrelevant of detail as it looked like. It didn't help us in solving the puzzle, but it was incredibly important. Hey, Sissel. That's so sad. Oh, a kitten? Shoo, you might get hurt. So this is the original timeline, the way things played out the first time. Apparently deflecting the Temsic meteorite made it stab the kitten instead. Of course, the first thing he reaches for is a dead body. It's a little weird. I had only just died at the time. I had lost everything, my life, my memory. My body wouldn't move anymore, but I still managed to reach out a hand to him. The next thing I knew, my soul had transferred to the black kitten. With no recollection of who I was, I lived as a cat with you for a while. After a while, the man regained his memory. I went back to being just a cat, and then the man got his body back. So this is Sissel's narration again, by the way. It's a little foggy here, especially since, again, Yomiel is speaking with the same sprite imagery that we've been using as our player character most of the game. I took my body back from the morgue. There was somebody I just had to go see, just one more time. I took control of my body and hurried to her house. But I was just a little too late. I had just missed her as she left this world. She left me a note that said, "I'm coming to you, Yomiel." Yep, as if everybody else didn't have ridiculously tragic things happening to them in this game. The man named me Sissel. It was the name of something important he had lost, along with his life. Again, this is why the name Sissel was chosen for our main character as opposed to a specifically masculine name like Sissel, because as it turns out, it was the name of Yomiel's fiancée who killed herself after he died. Yep. He told me about it once, but I didn't understand what it was. Those 10 years were very happy for me, but they weren't very happy for the man, and there was nothing I could do for him. Another sequence of Yomiel walking around. For 10 years I wandered through the darkness with no particular place to go. I think this is Yomiel's narration again. As time passed, my powers gradually changed. At first I could only manipulate small creatures and objects, but after a while I could manipulate people. That's when the darkness inside me deepened and I started to get a little twisted. I wanted light. Distorted artificial light. The fake life, everything like that. And here we are. We finally caught up to the events of the game itself. I think we know how this plays out, but there's a certain detail that we haven't discovered until just now. At least that's what I tried to believe. Quick flash forward. This looks awfully familiar. It's only about the 12th time we've seen it. First shot misses. Second shot, dead, or so we believe. I'd love to think that Yomiel actually heals from all these gunshots, but considering he's probably made of iron after surviving being stabbed and crushed, maybe he's just really, really good at not dying. I left my old self buried in that junkyard and walked away. Hey, it's us. Me, him. Apparently he carries his cat around. The black cat. I was possessing Sissel then. It wouldn't look very much like a murder if the corpse got up and walked away after all. So you borrowed the body of your old friend. Sissel was inside that bag I was carrying tonight. I had no intention of leaving my friend behind in this country when I left. But then when I went to possess his body, I realized something horrible. What was that? Sissel inside the bag was dead. What? We had to die somehow, right? Yep. The last in a lengthy string of just horrible coincidences. I wasn't able to control her completely. The first bullet didn't hit anything, or so I thought. But it did hit something, didn't it? It hit Sissel inside that bag. That's when I lost my life. Again, back to Sissel's narration, right in the presence of Temsic radiation, a fragment in Yomiel's body. And that's when I got my powers of the dead, my ghost tricks. I think I understand it now, why I was the only one who couldn't get his memory back. It was because I thought that corpse was me. It was the only corpse I could see at the time, after all. But as it turns out, it wasn't the only dead body. You can figure this out actually through some combination of noticing the only other object in the entire area being the cat that you see in the video recording, and the fact that people like Lynn occasionally incorrectly choose their form when they wake up. My true death was hiding just behind that corpse. For some reason we were in Yomiel's corpse though actually when the game started, which is a little weird, but you know, what are you gonna do? Now that I think about it, do you remember what you said? That you knew all along about me saving Lynn tonight? If you knew, why didn't you try to stop me? It's simple. Because I couldn't, even if I wanted to. Why not? Remember the thing about individual differences in the powers we get? I can control all kinds of things from the living to the dead. But even so, there are some things you can do that I can't. You mean, I can't rewind time, let alone change the fate of a death. If I could do those things, I would have saved your life. Probably his fiance's too. Not only that, but I never would have just let— oh yeah. But you're here 10 years in the past now. That's thanks to your powers. I just tagged along with you. Much like Sissel keeps doing, although he can turn back time himself. Again, we were reviving his body, meaning he could have tagged along with us no matter what we did. In any case, now the starting point of this entire tragedy has changed dramatically, altering fate. The fate of your death, the kitten Sissel's fate, and I can just bet you the fate of the woman you love has changed too. Yes, I believe you're right. Thankfully he didn't die. So this is the last fate to be averted, eh? Thanks, game. So Yomiel, it looks like your plan for revenge ended in failure. Yes, and I'm glad, too. I think this is Yomiel's voice again. Oh, this is Sissel's, never mind. What you've been feeling is— oh no, there's a flashback to Lynn. Here we go. It's Robo Yomiel. She understood. She shed tears for me. That's when my revenge was over. She saved me from the darkness. Unfortunately, he's still under criminal investigation. Well, I guess it's time we got back. A new 10 years later was just born. Right, we should get back to our new present. I can't wait to see Miss Lynn and Miss Kamala again. So these past 10 years will now all vanish. Well, not completely. The memories of all of us here will remain, including the memory of what I did, my crime. That's the way this game of the dead works, eh? And no matter what the reason, there's no denying the fact that I took Lynn hostage and tried to point a gun at her. I have no intention of running away from that either. The most inexcusable crime in my new life. Hey, Sissel. Yes? When we go back, our fates will no longer be interconnected. It will be like we never met. So before that happens, I just want to say one thing. Tonight, I stole away your life with my own hands. I'm truly sorry. That's already a thing of the lost past. Our fates have changed now, right, Yomiel? Thank you, Sissel. I'm so very glad I met you. Me too. Sissel, are we ever going to see each other again? I couldn't stand if we weren't. Don't worry, Missel. I bet we'll see each other again someday. 10 years from now, our paths are sure to cross. We'll just have to wait until then. I'll never forget you. I'll never forget you either, valiant little doggy. Well, it looks like you come to live with me now. So let's be getting home, little black cat. Home, huh? Sounds good, Jowd. We all witnessed the birth of a new beginning, and now we're each going back to our own new present. We say goodbye to the parts of our stories that would be lost, believing that someday our paths would all cross again. Forward we go. But wait, obviously there's still one more mystery yet to be solved, and we'll take care of that on tomorrow, on the final episode of Let's Play Ghost Trick. See you then.